start this off, it might sound kind of weird, but the story is about avenging your own death. Welcome to the Weird West, where Mr. Wolf, the wild but likable protagonist, dances and dazzles his way through killing swarms of enemies. But beware, no weapon you arm yourself with is permanent and soon runs out of hits, which means you'll have to resort to replacing it with any random item at hand. In a game where you can use an axe just as effectively as a turkey on a stick to finish an enemy off, the creativity of your murder spree has no limits. Paper Cult offers hours of replayable content here that taps into our enthusiasm for destroying the enemies ahead of us and still manages to keep it lively and fresh throughout the levels. There's no aimless chopping to and fro here, and you become focused on Mr. Wolf's story of vengeance and revenge as much as you are on reaching the next objective. In every scene, there's a plot brewing, inviting you to immerse yourself in this unpredictable take on the West. The balance between reanimating the old revenge story and the actual revenge doing has been executed to a first-class degree. Bloodroots does not compromise, instead offers a surprising amount of content for a platform game that receives a warm welcome. The plot becomes just as quirky as the gameplay, taking a skillful lumberjack and a betrayal to show the simplicity of revenge that isn't convoluted or confusing, but pulls anyone in. Its most notable feature, however, is the astounding extent to which the game is sincerely dynamic, utilizing the items and environment around you as weapons, particularly when you've got such a wide assortment of them, never gets old. The multitude of possibilities is varied, whilst your basic 3 moves, pick up / drop item, kill and jump, remain the same throughout. It's a pleasant contrast, again, doesn't confuse, only serves to improve. No 2 runs of the same level will be the exact same. You'll reach for the axe one time or topple your enemies with a barrel the next. Who can really predict anything in this game? In short though, everything can be used as a weapon. When you start progressing through the levels though, and different enemies with ranging abilities and speeds face you, there comes an acute realization that not every weapon will be perfect for the job. There's undeniably a degree of repetition and memorization of routes within it, but it does force you to think on your feet and pay the final price of having to start all over again if you're not fast enough. One hit and you're back to square one. Nice, right? Beyond the assortment of weapons, the studio has to be praised for the diversity of environments throughout the different levels. From tundras to forests, the art style pays a tribute to the Samurai Jack aesthetic but has a will of its own. The character designs are peculiar but charming, and the surroundings arm the gameplay with a complete picture of the Wild West, which has tundras. Interestingly enough though, what truly made this game stand out for me is the memorable instrumental. Even with the fair share of games under my belt, Bloodroots has earned its place in my top contenders of a game with a notable, well-fitting, and irresistible soundtrack. It's sharp, it's cutting, and it pushes you forward to give the difficult levels another go. The gameplay itself is as wild and unpredictable as the main character, truly a ballet where improvised moves can either pay off or send you back to the starting line. But if ballet is anything, it's difficult to master. It takes practice, memory, and dedication, but it's not always the type of effort we're willing to put in for a platform game that we just want to enjoy for an hour or two right now, especially if your patience has limits, like mine. If you are struggling, however, very heavily, the game does have a second option, which is just clearing the level for you. But that doesn't actually make the gameplay easier, it just takes the whole gameplay away. So in short, you either face the competition, even if you're sure there's another red losing screen, which will have you swearing like a mother fudger at your screen, or you give up. And it's a shame, because it's fairly easy to make even the most willing of players forget the pride of getting through a particularly difficult level, especially when you want to throw out your keyboard entirely. Jesus. That said, the thing about Bloodroots, in my opinion, is that it's very hard to dislike. You've got yourself a twisted revenge plot, a likable anti-hero, spontaneous environment, and some quirky gameplay. It's memorable enough to breathe life into a platform game, and that's pretty much all we can ask for. You can find it over on the Epic Game Store for $19.99 or wishlisted over on Steam. Thank you guys for watching the review. If you'd like to see some more cool indie game content, make sure to drop a sub and follow us over on Twitter, linked in the description. We choose an indie game of the day over there and basically just love on indie games together. My name's Aaron, and thanks for watching Zealot.